I think this story with the PGA Tour and LIV Golf merging is the biggest story of the day. And Jake, I just don't see any way, unless I'm wrong, I don't see any way that this is not an absolute win for LIV Golf. And, you know, whether you support LIV Golf or not, this idea that LIV Golf and the PGA Tour are going to merge and that somehow, you know, the director of the Saudi sovereign fund is going to be the chairman of the board of directors of this new entity is nothing short of a win for the Saudi government, for the Saudi sovereign fund. It essentially allows Saudi money to grow and control the PGA Tour. And the thing that really stands out to me is I don't understand the hypocrisy in this. I don't understand how, if you were Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, Jake, I don't know how you look like anything but a hypocrite with the news of this merger.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Jay is a hypocrite. I think I don't know what you're looking at here. I mean, the PGA Tour was in the driver's seat. The LIV Golf was struggling. Their TV viewership was awful. You know, to the point where you're getting booted off of the channel that you were broadcasting on in many markets, and they were cutting to, you know, old retreads of Chicago PD with, you know, Hank Voight and his SRT Jeep. Like, that's how bad LIV Golf was. And I really don't understand this whole concept that they're running out there of we need to make the game of golf more attainable globally. Global domination sounds like the stuff of kings and queens, which is right out of the Saudi playbook. And to me, golf was already a global game. You already have a European tour. Golf is huge on the Pacific Rim. You like how many foreign players are rocking it on the PGA Tour right now? Like, it's impressive. And I look at it and I just say, I don't understand why money has to trump everything. Is there no sense of morals, ethics, of your image? Like, is there no sense of like, hey, yeah, by the way, these are the same people that brought down 2 buildings in 2001. These are the same people that commit war crimes. These are the same people that you know, killed Jamal Khashoggi. Like, these are horrible people. Yet we're good with that. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to go on CNBC and do this sham of an interview where they never ask them about you know, just how bad of a look this is. And I grow tired of this game. I don't understand. Why did you merge with them to the point where dude is going to be your chair? Like, I don't understand that. Why?
Very clearly it's some money. I mean, and the worst part for me is I'm not going to sit here and judge anybody anymore. The Brooks Koepkas, the Dustin Johnsons, the Varners, like whoever you want to point to. They did what was best for their family, and I have a hard time begrudging them for that. But Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, is an absolute hypocrite. The idea that Jay Monahan sat up there and talked about 9/11 as a reason not to support the LIV Golf Tour, and then today you announce you're taking their money. It's unbelievable.
Well, I talked to players. I've talked at a player meeting, and I've talked to a number of players individually for a long period of time. And I think you'd have to be living under a rock to not know that there are significant implications. And as it relates to the families of 9/11, I have 2 families that are close to me that lost loved ones. And so my heart goes out to them. And I would ask, you know, any player that has left or any player that would ever consider leaving, have you ever had to apologize for being a member of the PGA Tour?
Man,
like,
what
dude,
are you doing?
So
and
yeah.
And we've heard guys like Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods have demanded that Jay Monahan resign from the PGA Tour now, because this deal happened very quickly and without the consult of PGA Tour players and the PGA Tour leadership committee. I don't know if you're Jay Monahan and you said those very statements when LIV Golf announced their existence and started taking players with that money that you said was blood money. How now do you turn around and say, oh, yeah, our good friends at LIV and we've merged and this is going to be great. And
it's a historic day.
It's right, which is what, to your point, Jake said to me in the pre-show meeting today. I'm tired of bad news being spun as a historic day.
I'm over it, bro.
And I agree. This is not a historic day. This is a very, very dark day because I don't see this as anything but a win for LIV Golf. And if I'm missing the boat on this, if there is a way somehow to spin this, and I completely agree that the PGA Tour will largely control golf around the world, but you're going to do that with blood money from Saudi Arabia. You are going to do that with the director of the Saudi Sovereign Fund sitting as the chairman of your board, mind you. So I can understand that, hey, LIV Golf is dead today. Like, if it no longer exists, the PGA Tour is going to remain as a nonprofit entity. Like, you are, in my opinion, it's going to be the PGA Tour. And I could see a scenario where there are off-season events, very much like this Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, Justin Thomas venture on Tuesday nights, in the off-season. Okay, I totally get all that. But there's no getting around the fact that you took blood money today. There is no getting around the fact that the PGA Tour got in bed with terrorists today. There's no getting around the fact that the PGA Tour and Jay Monahan sold their soul to the devil because they didn't want to lose in court. That's my opinion. My opinion is that Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, is an absolute fucking fraud. That's the only words that I can come up with to describe what this cat did today.
Yeah.
When you merge with LIV Golf after you trotted out those dead folks, those people who paid with their lives on 9/11 in those towers, and you use their names to vilify the likes of Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson, and you championed the hero that was Tiger Woods for turning down $800 million, and you're a fraud, my man, because what did you do today? What Jay Monahan did today was he took the exact payday he told these other guys not to because families died in the Twin Towers on 9/11. But today it's fine because Jay Monahan, you got the payday today.
Saudi stooge.
And to me, that's unforgivable. And I look at this list, and I'm sure most of you remember this list. Look at the money that was turned down. Hideki Matsuyama turned down $400 million. Hideki Matsuyama. You look at John Rahm turning down $300 million. Will Zalatoris, $130 million for a kid. For a kid, for crying out loud. Who, by the way, after turning that down, went and had significant back surgery that's got him out for this entire season. Think that $130 million is pissing him off right now? Sam Burns turned down $100 million? Are you kidding me? And today now, you want to go ahead. What do you say if you're Rory McIlroy and all those guys, the Brooks Koepkas of the world, the Dustin Johnsons, all of these guys that took that money that everybody said was blood money, they walk into your building today, they're like, hey, boys, we're back. The first words out of your mouth better fucking be, hey, are you guys buying the first round? Because we can't afford it. Right? Like, I mean, They're walking in, and they're not showing up in a Bentley. They're showing up in a Brinks truck because that's how they carry all that money around.
Yeah.
Who are we? Come on now.
Yeah, it's a joke.
We have got to hold Jay Monahan accountable. And the thing that bothers me about this so much is, and we'll never know the details of it, but you cannot sell me that the CW and LIV Golf were dying. You will never be able to convince me otherwise that LIV Golf and the CW were in real trouble because nobody was watching LIV Golf in North America. Nobody. And if you don't have North America, you don't have any America.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your viewership in Europe that was very tiny as well. But you had nothing in North America. LIV Golf won today because LIV Golf became an entity that got validated today. And I'll say it again. If you're just tuning in, the PGA Tour and LIV Golf announced a merger today. The director of the Saudi sovereign fund, the money, the billions and trillions of dollars from the Saudi government, that guy is the chairman of the board of directors of this new entity. Let that sink in. And then tell me that Jay Monahan didn't make a deal with the devil. And hey, it's cool. Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, he'll be the CEO. He'll be able to appoint the rest of the board of directors. Hey, all that's great. The chairman of the board of this new entity is the director of the Saudi sovereign fund.
Mm-hmm.
There's no spinning that. There's no spinning what the Saudi government means to America and the impact the Saudi government has had on Americans. There's no spinning that. And I'm not trying to make this about 9/11 or the oil or the politics. Jay Monahan did that for us.
Yeah. When
he called all of these golfers that went to LIV Golf, when he called them traitors, and he said, you did it for a payday, and I have to look these family members of those who died on 9/11 in the towers, I have to look them in the eyes. Have you ever been ashamed of the PGA Tour? Yeah, today. How about today I'm ashamed of the PGA Tour, of which I'm a huge fan of. I belong to the PGA of America. I pay the PGA of America. I'm embarrassed to say that I'm a member of the PGA of America. I am embarrassed to say that I am a member of the Utah Golf Association, an offshoot of the PGA of America. Mm-hmm. It's embarrassing because now my money is going to the Saudi government. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Jay Monahan has not had to resign as yet. Because I wouldn't listen to two words that shithead has to say. Not after invoking dead people and those who died on 9/11.
We really did.
Screw that guy. Screw that guy. Jay Monahan, you're bad for America. Jay Monahan, you're a traitor today. You're a liar today. You are somebody that grandstanded on the families that you said you were defending. You're a liar. You are a con artist. There is no other way to describe it. Because LIV Golf, don't get this wrong, LIV Golf won today. Those people in Saudi Arabia that chopped up the dead body of a reporter who was reporting facts about them to make sure that he no longer reported facts, they chopped his body up. And you reference that as a reason, Jay Monahan, not to do business with them. Congratulations. What are you saying to Jamal Khashoggi's family today?
That's an issue.
What are you saying to them? Oh, you're not going to say anything because you won't take follow-up questions, you won't do interviews, and you certainly won't talk to those really beloved 9/11 family members who I've never had to say, are you embarrassed by the PGA Tour? Well, guess what, asshole? Today, we're all embarrassed by the PGA Tour because of you. Because you took the blood money today. Not them, not Dustin Johnson anymore, not Brooks Koepka anymore. You asshole, Jay Monahan, you took the blood money today. And there's no getting away from that, sir. And if it is the last thing I ever do, I will find Jay Monahan and I will say this to his face because that guy's a fraud. And if Tiger Woods and until Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas and all these other dudes force Jay Monahan to resign, they're all frauds too. And the truth of it is, those guys had no say in this because Jay Monahan didn't ask anybody's permission.
No, why would he? Because he knew they'd say no.
You can't tell me Tiger Woods is like, all right, let's move on with life.
Hey, Tiger, what do you think? Should we take the PGA and give it to the Saudis? What do you think? Isn't that a good idea? I mean, you'll still be able to get that waitress out, back up, the Perkins waitress out back. You'll still be able to get that. But we're going to go and get the Saudi money. What do you think? He just said no. Justin Thomas would have said no. Jordan Spieth would have said no. Rory would have said no. John Rahm would have said no. Don't talk to me in the comment sections about how Saudi money's in all sports and this isn't just golf. We're not talking about baseball or basketball or football or frisbee golf. We're talking about the PGA Tour. We're talking about legends of golf coming through this tour. And now that's all over with. It's over. And honestly, I'm going to have trouble watching this if this thing goes through the way it's set up right now, if nothing changes. Because I do think there's a chance. I don't know how big that chance is, but if guys like Rory, the core names in golf, stop playing and boycott, I wonder what happens. I don't know what happens, but you can't tell me they're not thinking about something like that.
Jay Monahan's got to go, period. He's got to go. Because this isn't about golf. Like Scott of Greywater saying it's golf, bro, LOL. It's not about golf. You don't like golf, okay, great. Cool. Chill for 10 minutes and we'll talk your college football.
Your garbage college football take.
But here's the problem with hey, it's golf, bro, guy. It's not golf, bro. It's not. What happened today was a bunch of billionaires got together and essentially hijacked an American professional sport. That's what happened today. How do you with this merger with the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour, the European Tour, and LIV Golf? Am I the only one who thinks it's ridiculous that the PGA Tour gets to keep its nonprofit status? Am I the only one who thinks it's ridiculous that, again, here we go with the Saudi government owning a slice of Americana? Am I the only one that's got a problem with that? Am I the only one? I feel like I'm talking to a bunch of deaf fucking people. Am I the only one who cares that the Saudi government owns a piece of America? Like, hello? Am I in an echo chamber?
U.S. Americans.
The Saudi government owns LIV Golf, and now they have the chairman of the board of the PGA Tour. He's the director of the Saudi Sovereign Fund. Like, you can sit here in the comments and mock golf, but at some point, somebody's got to stand up and say, hey, by the way, hey, hello, you stood on the graves of dead Americans and said that these people were terrible people. Why are you in business with them now all of a sudden? Anybody? Nobody? Somebody? I don't know. Like, am I the only one who isn't looking at this as the little white ball that we all knock around the golf course? And I'm looking at this as, hey, I'm a guy that stands up as a proud American, and I don't want to be in business with the Saudis. Am I the only one?
Apparently.
Because it's great. It's great. It's great that we all get into these conversations about, oh, well, hey, man, you know. Like this right here, where and I know we're getting a lot of comments. John Moore saying China owns the rest of America. No, they don't. Actually, they don't. Actually, they don't. So, I mean, and then, of course, Ruffs is going to come in and make stupid statements. So, like, I don't understand why you guys can't. And this is my problem when we get into conversations like this.
Yeah.
Why can't you see this for what it is? Which is the Saudi government just bought a professional sports league in America. Why does it have to be about Nike in China? Why can't you talk about the Saudis just bought the PGA Tour? Why does, again, like we're sitting here with Ruffs talking about, oh, well, China, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. You are one of the least informed people. Every time anything remotely political comes up, you want to bring up like elections and shit. What does this have to do with an election? The Saudi government just bought the PGA Tour. And you want to talk about Nike in China? No. Go talk with your friends about Nike in China, because I'm trying to have a legitimate conversation about the fact that the Saudi Sovereign Fund just bought the PGA Tour. And all you guys want to talk about is fucking China. I don't care about China. Because frankly, we're in business with China, but we're not supposed to be in business with terrorists who cut people's heads off and chop up bodies of reporters who report truth stories about them. Mm-hmm. But you guys don't want to talk about that. Ruff's official, you don't want to talk about that. No. They own the PGA Tour, but Nike does business in China. It's amazing to me that we can't get out of our own way to have a legitimate, real discussion about the fact that the Saudi government just bought a piece of Americana. Because I'm telling you, whether you like golf or not, It's one of the major sports in this country. It has more viewership than the NHL. And yet you want to talk about shoes in China. Okay, go somewhere else and talk about shoes in China. Because I'm telling you now, this is a significant moment in time. It is. And if Jay Monahan is allowed to keep his job on the PGA Tour, I don't think I can support that. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I can support that. I don't think I can be a member of the PGA of America or the Utah Golf Association.
Like, does it make people feel better? Like, does it make you feel better to spin off into China takes? Like, is that why we do it? Because I don't understand it. I'm not concerned, like, with the business of the U.S. and China right now. We're not talking about that. Like, we're talking about yet another thing in this country being diluted with Saudi money. That's what I don't
crazy
understand.
To me. It's crazy to me.
I just don't get it, man. Why can't we just say, like, hey, dude, like, Jay Monahan and clearly some other people in Jay's circles decided they were going to do something that, by the way, the biggest names in golf are not cool with. And every American should not be cool with this. This is not good.
Yeah,
this is a bad thing.
The Saudi government owns the PGA Tour now. Owns it. Like, their guy is the chairman of the board of whatever this new entity with LIV Golf and the PGA Tour is. It's crazy to me. I am so incredibly disappointed. And I hope today what we need is we need a revolt. And we need Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods and John Rahm and all these other guys to sit up at a dais and say, Jay Monahan has no place in our sport.
Yeah.
And he is a traitor. Because the only guys with the balls to do that are Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy.
And why is that, though? Really important. They're the best players on the tour. And I don't
crazy.
care how bad Tiger's back hurts. Tiger's the most powerful guy in golf, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me. All right, let's get your thoughts. Larry Pilgrim says PGA is a business, support it or don't. Right, but it's a wholly owned business of the Saudi government now. So, yeah, it is what it is. Wyatt Earp, it would appear Saudis had sufficient dirt on the right people at the PGA and the right amount of bribe money, too. I don't know where you would come up with that because there's nothing to indicate that. Big bad brass balls. No, you're not about having a conversation. You're on a rant that gives no room for other opposing opinions that don't agree with yours. No, when you want to talk about China and Nike and the NBA, I'm not here for that because that has nothing to do with the Saudi government buying the PGA Tour.
Explain to me how this is good. Accounts like this. And I love you, bro. You're a member of the show. I love you, and I'm not trying to make it personal. But don't come in here with this snarky-ass comment type stuff and say that we're not trying to have a conversation. No, we're trying to have a conversation about the Saudis buying the PGA. We're not trying to have a conversation about China and Jordans and Apple and all this stuff. I'm not interested in that. We're not talking about that. There's no point to it.
It makes me crazy that when something significant in the world happens, we can't talk about it without politics. And it's the PGA and it's the Saudi government that owns the PGA Tour now. That's the conversation. I'm not interested in politics because anytime
why can't we just say it?
Anytime we get into politics, like I'm just not here for it.
Why is it so difficult to say, yeah, this isn't a good thing. This is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Why can't we say that?
Yeah.
Why is that so difficult?
Raider Mark, it's a hypocrisy of the PGA that is the biggest issue for me. They duped and lied to PGA players.
Exactly.
Absolutely right.
Exactly.
And in Sebesta, it is sports washing. Look how they've corrupted the Euro football leagues, horse racing, F1, and the WWE. As a fan of Chelsea Football Club, I would have, because the same guy that is the director at the Saudi Sovereign Fund owns Newcastle United in the Premier League. And he tried to help one of his cohorts when Chelsea Football Club was for sale. He tried to get in the running for that. And had that happen, I would not have supported the club anymore. I could not see that. I couldn't see that happening. Marlon Shaw, Saudi is technically our ally, but the lines are pretty blurry in my mind. And they're supposed to be our ally. or at least that's how it used to be. But certainly they're not. Certainly they are not. I mean, it just, yeah. Jeremy Callahan, Saudi Arabia's government is a terrorist regime. It is. Absolutely. I don't think anybody even doubts that. Clint Mose, Saudi will flip PGA to Russia. I doubt that. Big Daddy Magic says, I hate this. I have a problem with it. I think everybody hates it. Everybody hates it.
Clearly not everybody.
I mean, it is, well, clearly not. Clearly not. William Lorig, the only thing to do is boycott the PGA. I don't know how you support it. I really don't know how you support it.
And that's what I'm saying, like kind of what you were saying, like Rory, Tiger, John Rahm, like the biggest names of the guys who didn't go to LIV have to boycott the game. You have to. There's no other way.
It's so frustrating to me that, like, when you look around, I mean, there's no doubt that the belief system around the globe is that LIV Golf won. That LIV Golf won. There's no doubt about that. And it is the only win. The only win is that Greg Norman will not have a role in the new entity, because LIV Golf wanted to fire him apparently, and the PGA Tour has excommunicated him, and now he's out. Not expected to have a role in the PGA Tour merger. I'm amazed by it. I am amazed. Like, it is remarkable to me what money does in this world. It's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim Choi, Monty grew up in the States. Go visit Middle East and China. People living there are just people too. What does that mean? People? Of course they're just people. What does that mean? Big bad brass balls. Now, if golf has a bigger viewership than college football, which we should be talking about, then let's talk. Well, it's our show, so we kind of talk about.
Yeah, if you don't like it,
what we want it to like. Why can we not talk about? You don't think this is the biggest story on the entire planet right now in sports? And it's not close. It's got over a billion interactions on Twitter today. Over a billion. Like, it's a huge story. DW2CB, LIV Golf, we kill it on the fairway. See what he did there? See what he did there? Truck stop Gumby, because it's too late to hop on the outraged train. Outraged train. Yeah, probably. That's probably true. Matt Hart, when I read the story, I was disappointed. I do hope Tiger and Rory boycott the PGA at this point, and any other golfer who came out and said they weren't fans of it. Like, those are the people that you've got to be like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I think the choices of Rory and Tiger and others on their level, again, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, names in golf that are there every week. Like, your choices right now today are crucial, because if you cave and you fold like Jay Monahan did, then you're part of the issue. And I will have no problem saying that. If I don't see hardcore comments, if I don't see real strong stance, I don't want to see on Twitter, hey, sources telling us that there was a contentious meeting from the players and Jay Monahan, and then 10 minutes later, Rory steps up to the dais and says, man, yeah, wow, really disappointed and not sure what to do.
It's insane to me that this same guy, Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, when the LIV Golf thing happened, sat up there and said, oh, I know people who died on 9/11, and I have to look them in the eyes. Like, if you're Jay Monahan today, can you look those people in the eyes? That's crazy. That's crazy to me. I don't even... Rick Forrester, the PGA sold out America. Monty is all bucked up on LIV Golf in Saudi Arabia.
It pisses me off, and I have no problem saying it.
Yeah, I don't get mad or angry about many things. This really ticks me off. Like, it's infuriating, man. Like, it is, and I've seen a bunch of PGA professionals around the country talking about boycotting the PGA Tour, and I don't see any way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see any. You can't unwind this watch.
Nope.
You can't unwind it. And that the Saudi sovereign fund is going to make a significant investment to push the game of golf forward into this new entity. You took their money. You took their money. All right. There you go. Couple more, then we'll move on, because God forbid we would talk anything but football. Kurt Peters, LIV Golf so great, fans will lose their heads. See what
he did there? Because they chop people's heads off.
But the funny thing is, the PGA Tour retains control and retains all rights and has the final decision on the structure and the execution of events. So this, like Jay Monahan was so opposed to people wearing shorts on the PGA Tour. Like, that's who you are. You're so focused on a dude wearing shorts to play golf, but yet you'll take the Saudis' money. That's what's crazy to me. Sean Mierzinski, Monahan needs to go. Salty Drunk says, how does this change contractual agreements? They're all one now. Because the PGA and LIV Golf have agreed to drop all litigation against one another. And when you merge, as a merger, all contracts become one. And one of the interesting questions will be, well, hey, what about Phil Mickelson and all the money that he got? And what about, like, are you just does the Saudi government just keep paying Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson and Harold Varner and Patrick Reed, and you just keep paying all these dudes? Or, like, I mean, my guess is you're going to see them play out this year, and then you're going to get cut. You're going to get cut. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, I don't know. Scott of Greywater, I see what you're saying, but I'm so numb to Titans, Czars, Emperors, and Kings. Do whatever they want to do. What can we do? Not much. Not much. Not much.
But it's our job to speak out on it.
Yeah, seriously. It is. Clint Mose says the rest of the world is laughing at the USA.
Again.
Right now it is. Again.
Again.
Right now, for sure it is. Let's see. David Sebesta, it's just a sneak attack. I wake up this morning with that at the top of my notifications, kind of like a certain morning 22 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. Taylor Gilstrap, kill the PGA, make a new league, the American Golf Association. The only guys that can do that are Tiger and Rory.
Yeah.
And my belief is that is a real possibility, because you're not seeing Tiger and Rory and all these big names talking to the media right now. You're seeing the nobody heard of you guy who's got like half a tie for 28th place at one event that's talking right now. It's crazy. Larry Pilgrim, PGA was screwing over players like ESPN is trying to screw over the Pac-12.
But I think Tiger and Rory have an opportunity to be heroes in the golf game. Absolutely.
They do. Yeah, I just, listen, I think we have to talk about this stuff, because you have to talk about this stuff. You've got to bring it to work. You've got to bring it to your barbecue this weekend. You've got to bring it to your golf game this week. Like, it's brutal. It is really brutal.
And you know what the problem is? Now every time I turn on a major, every time I turn on Augusta every year, I'm going to think about this. Not that Augusta is technically part of it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you're watching Oak Hill, or you're watching Augusta, or you're watching, that the major events, and you're seeing Phil tee off. You're like, yeah, wow.
There's Phil, right? That's what you feel like. And I think the other thing that's so interesting is everybody's talking about Bud Light. And Bud Light sales plummeting and
losing billions.
But nobody will do that to the PGA Tour. Nobody will do that, because I just don't think anybody cares. I think people view it as money. Honest to God, I think people view it as money. That's how I think people look at it.
And that's what I think is kind of a shame in this whole thing. Like we've now, I feel like the automatic go-to stance is like, oh, well, yeah, it's business. Money over everything. And it's like, do we not have morals or ethics anymore? Do we not have character anymore? Do we not have any sort of moral line in the sand about what we're willing and not willing to do? Because it seems like we're just like, all right, cool, taking the money and that's it. And we don't care about Jamal Khashoggi or the people who died in the Twin Towers or anything like that. And I'm not even trying to exaggerate.
But
this is the message it sends.
Sports washing is absolutely a word.
Yeah.
Sports washing.
Absolutely.
And that's in every sport, whether it's the NFL, the NBA, like the whole Houston run. That's that's where the conversation spills over. We use sports every day to cover up atrocities. It's soccer all the time. Playing the Olympics, holding the Olympics in Sochi, or we do that all the time. That is the one sliver where you can do that. Well, Kurt, you're exactly right. Ethics in business were long gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I long gone. Long gone. It is. Yeah, and Kurt, maybe that's true. Would Tigers Golf League be officially sponsored by Perkins? That would be amazing. Amazing. Israel says, will networks carry golf going forward? Yeah.
Another side of the conversation.
That's very interesting.
Titleist, Ping, TaylorMade, PXG. Love PXG. American brand.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's
bro,
brutal.
Hey, you sponsor a golfer that's part of a tour funded by the Saudis. How do you feel about that? I wonder, and I'm not trying to make it personal with PXG or TaylorMade or any of these brands, but if you're one of these brands, you got to seriously take a look at this and say, okay, where do we take a stance on this? Powerade got off the John Morant train real quick.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Yeah, they did.
Right? So my question is, okay, what does it take for people to get off of certain brands the way people got off of Bud Light?
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about.
I think it is so important. I don't know what's the right way to say this. I think it's so important that at some point somebody be held accountable for something. I just don't feel, that's what frustrates me. I don't feel like there's accountability for this stuff. Honest to God. I just don't feel like there's accountability for this at all. And I don't know how you fix it. I don't know. You can't even go and backtrack this. You can't unwind this now. Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, there's no way to fix it. Man.
No.
There's just not. You can't hold one of the most sacred days in the history of this country, 9/11. You can't use that to defame LIV Golf, and all of their golfers, and then turn around and merge with them. You can't do that. Yeah, you can't make that up.
And I agree. One of the most pertinent questions with this story that I think will go unanswered for a long time is, why is it that Jay Monahan and company felt the need to do this? Okay, did the Saudis have dirt? Did the what is it? Because again, if you dumb this thing down to just basic business logic, LIV was struggling. It was a garbage product. The PGA had no reason to help them. So not only have you helped them, you've put them in a position of power.
And it's really curious. It is. Jeremy Callahan says, "How is the nation of Saudi Arabia culpable?" Come on, man.
Oh, please, dude.
Dude,
that's. Come on, man.
If you
be
should
better.
Yeah.
Be better.
Larry Pilgrim just bought a membership at my community course, 36 holes for $2,600 for 23 and 24 in Florida. A lot of balls, bro. Gonna wear out some clubs. Hey,
have
go
fun,
do it,
man.
I mean, I love playing. I played the worst round of golf I think I've ever played today. Truth be told. It is. I love the game and I hate the game. We went down to Talon Cove with the great Arlington Bears and Chris Karn, and I just played horrendous golf today. Horrendous. Shot a 93 today. Yeah. And I'm a 12 handicap. Shot a 93. I've got to think that it goes up. It goes up,
Yeah.
Interesting. Dennis Dodd retweeted a gentleman, one of his coworkers, who said, with the way last year went, everything Monahan said and did, makes it feel like he was leveraging players, fans, and everyone's emotions until the Saudi sovereign fund's investment got big enough. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying that's how it feels. That is how it feels.
Yeah.
It feels like there was a game played until the Saudis were ready to invest.
Yeah.
All right. I love the conversation. We'll get back into it later. I appreciate all of you guys coming in, having the conversation. I know, again, God forbid that we talk about anything that's not football on this show.
I know.
Because people lose their minds over it.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy other things other than football.
Everybody is outraged.
Sometimes, including Bucked Up, the official energy drink of the Monty Show. Got it right here. And trust me, maybe I'm just crabby after my round of golf today.
Don't worry. This isn't funded by the Saudis. This is, in fact, an American company.
Cheers, friends. Time for a buckshot from Bucked Up. Excellent. I love the watermelon. But don't take my word for it. Get the free samples in the description below. But I also want to talk about Bucked Bars, you guys. The Buck Bar is unbelievable. The Buck Bar is now my go-to protein bar. And I eat a protein bar twice a day. If you look at what's in there, like whey protein isolate, the best protein form of whey protein you can get is whey protein isolate. I love the fact that they use dates as a sweetener. It is, in fact, the perfect refuel post-workout. I had one right after I was done playing golf today, and they are unbelievable. And Bucked Up wants to send a pack of their bars to your front door. You can get a variety pack for free right to your front door. They want you to have the samples so that you can try them. You'll fall in love with them. I love them. I used to eat, I'll be honest with you, I used to eat One Bars, peanut butter One Bars every day, all day. Had them on Amazon order, like a subscription. Canceled that subscription because the Buck Bar is that good. And you know the other thing? It's low glycemic. It doesn't have a ton of sugar in it. And it is one of the best bars I have ever tasted. It tastes good. It performs well. Buck Bars, make sure you get them for free in the description below.